Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report. I'm coming to you straight, no fluff, because I know what you want. A clear read on what's happening, why it matters, and how it plays on the field when it's 3rd and 7 with the season on the line. Tonight, I'm laying out the move that upgrades our identity from scrappy and hopeful to mean and inevitable. The logic the front office is following, the on-field domino effect for our front seven, what it does for our young quarterback's runway, the likely cost, the cap mechanics, the rotation tweaks, and where this leaves us against the teams we have to beat when the weather turns. Stick with me, because I'm going to walk you through the clues, the football reasons, and the timing. Then, I'll give you the reveal and my verdict. And if you're new here, ride with me for a minute, because nobody breaks down Bears football for fans like this community does. Hit that button and stay close. I've got you covered all week with updates and deeper dives that don't waste your time. Here's the situation. The Bears are feisty, organized, and better coached than the national chatter gives them credit for. But there's one truth we can't dodge. Winning time is pass rush time. You can live on good structure for 3 quarters. You can lean on game plans and discipline. But in the last 6 minutes, you either affect a quarterback or you watch leads evaporate. We've had flashes. Montez Sweat has been everything advertised. Long, violent hands, a closer's motor, and the kind of edge that forces protections to slide. But football is math. If offenses know where the fire is coming from, they tilt the table. Chip with the back, nudge a tight end, quick game to that side, and suddenly your best player is pulling doubles on critical downs. We need a second problem for offensive coordinators, not a supporting actor, a co-headliner that turns 3rd down into a panic button. And that's where this move comes alive. Look at the Bears' defensive DNA under Matt Eberflus. Trust your 4 to hunt, cover behind it with zone eyes, thread in simulated pressure and late safety rotation to muddy reads, and keep a lid on explosive plays. It's a smart, sustainable way to survive the long haul of a season, but it asks a lot from your ends. They have to win one-on-one, over and over. When they don't, you're forced to send more bodies, and you bleed space behind the blitz. We've been living on the edge of that trade-off. The front has power, but it needs that guy who ruins protection rules, that fastball you can throw 3 straight times and still get whiffs. And because the clock is ticking toward the deadline, teams with real goals don't go hunting for depth, they go hunting for finishers. They go hunting for a closer. Zoom in on the calendar and you'll see why the timing matters. You buy it mid-season because the dollars are prorated, the cap hit shrinks, and the pick you give up is judged in January, not June. Set the cost correctly and you're renting playoff leverage, not just a name. That's smart business for a team taking its shot before winter hits. The sweet spot is a proven producer on a short-term horizon. No anchor years, no rebuild baggage, just violent production when you need it most. You add that to Sweat, you allow Gervon Dexter Jr. to eat matchups inside. You let the linebackers trigger downhill without worry, and suddenly, the coverage looks tighter without changing a single coverage call. Good pass rushers make corners smarter. Great pass rushers make coordinators braver. Now, I want you to picture our 3rd and long package once this lands. Sweat to the left, setting the edge and closing the pocket from depth. Dexter shaded to wreck the guard with that first step jolt. A NASCAR front where speed replaces mass for a handful of snaps. The other edge, standing up, wide 9, ghost move in the bag, ready to turn the corner and attack the throwing arm. The quarterback takes a 5-step drop, hits the top, and feels pressure from both flanks. No escape lane, no clean hitch, just that half-second of fear where mistakes live. That look? That is what postseason football looks like when you don't own your ball. And it's been missing here. Contracts matter, and the Bears have been disciplined. You don't push chips in for a bloated deal with dead money that leaves you stuck next spring. The right target is a producer with a manageable structure, someone you can ride now, and if the fit explodes the way we expect, you pursue a fresh arrangement with 2026 in mind. If not, fine. You got the juice you needed for the stretch, and you walk with your books clean. Either way, the locker room hears the message. The front office believes. The window is real, and this isn't a consolation year. So, why this player? Why now? And why does it fit Chicago better than other splashy names? Because the tape screams it. The bend to clear the corner without drifting past the mark, the inside counter when tackles overset, the long arm to forklift pads and compress the pocket into the quarterback's lap, the urgency on late downs, the strip sack instinct, the game-turning stuff that doesn't just create negative plays, it creates takeaways. This is not empty calorie pressure. This is violence with purpose. Snaps that move the scoreboard. Pair that with sweat, and you're not chasing sacks, you're dictating flow. Let's talk compensation with grown-up honesty. The math here lives in the zone between a mid-round pick plus a young contributor and a straight pick package that won't mortgage the future. That's reasonable given the expected return. Premium pass rush snaps over half a season and, if extended, a tone-setting edge across your star. You don't get this kind of profile for a handful of lottery tickets, but you also don't blow the budget. The Bears can thread this needle because the roster is younger, the quarterback is on a rookie deal, and the spine of the defense is ascending. This is what Go Now, Pay Smart looks like. On the field, the ripple effect is huge. Rotationally, DeMarcus Walker's snaps get cleaner and more selective. Dexter sees more one-on-ones and plays faster. Run fits tighten because you're not living in 2nd and 4 after a safe throw. You're putting offenses behind the sticks with early pressure. Coverage simplifies. Zone eyes, break downhill, rally and tackle, force punts, keep your young offense on schedule. Good defense isn't mystical, it's about stacking small wins so your offense plays from the right script. That's how confidence grows and game plans open up. The move we're talking about is a confidence cheat code. I also want to underline what this does for the city. Chicago respects work. Chicago respects hitters. We've got a fan base that can tell the difference between flash and force, and a pass rusher who arrives angry every Sunday fits this town in a way no spreadsheet ever will. When that first strip sack drops at Soldier Field and the place shakes, you'll feel it in your ribs. That's not narrative. That's why you make this kind of deal. You've noticed I'm saving the name, and that's on purpose, because the name is the exclamation point. The player who checks every box I just laid out, the player whose motor and toolkit match what the Bears want to be in money downs, the player whose arrival turns protections into coin flips and coordinators into gamblers, is Trey Hendrickson. That's the move. That's the fit. That's the edge who makes Montez Sweat even scarier and gives this defense a surveillance camera on every snap. I'm telling you flat out, this is the kind of acquisition that doesn't just add sacks, it adds belief. If you're with me so far, drop your take right now before I close this out. Would you pay the mid-round price and a young contributor to make this happen, or would you keep the picks and ride with the current rush? I want to hear the smart cap ideas, the rotation tweaks you'd make, and how you'd deploy Hendrickson on 3rd down. Wide 9 every time, or mix inside stunts with Dexter and let Sweat knife across? Get in the comments, I'm reading everything, and I'll respond to the best ideas on the next update. Here's my concise read. Football-wise, it's a slam dunk. Hendrickson's toolbox, speed to power, counter rip, relentless hands, fits our scheme, and flips the math for an offense that wants to throw in the cold. Culture-wise, it's a Chicago player, blue-collar edge with big stage energy. Cost-wise, it's not a break-the-bank move if you structure it correctly, and the prorated cap hit is precisely why you do it now, not in March. Risk-wise, every move has one. But the floor here is a stretch run with sack juice. The ceiling is a 2-year window where our front four takes over Sundays. My opinion is simple. If the price stays within that smart band, I do it today, I do it with conviction, and I live with the outcome because this is how you tell the league you're done playing catch-up. And to close, I'm asking you directly. Do you trust this front office to swing big on a closer and keep the cap clean? Or do you want to roll the dice on internal growth and draft capital? Tell me where you stand on Hendrickson to Chicago, how you'd handle the rotation, and what you'd expect in the first 3 games after he lands. If you want more of these fast, straight-to-the-point breakdowns with the real football details, subscribe, turn on the alerts, and stay with me. This community is building something special, and I'll be here every step of the way to keep it honest, keep it sharp, and keep it Bears.